in the world? I was challenged. I was challenged by a man that kind of looks like me, except way more ear piercings. This cart was sent to me by a dear friend named Mr. Palomino Blue. I will post his channel over there somewhere. For whatever reason, every time someone challenges me to clean a game, they always send the Super Mario Bros. And Duck Hunt combo cart. And this one's no different. Now, he originally wrote his name in great big letters along the side. You will notice that those great big letters are gone because I removed it, because that's what we do here. I made a video about removing it. What I used was a different chemical than what we're going to use today, which is Heptane. It's something a little different. It's something maybe we'll talk about, maybe we won't. But for the rest of the video, I'm going to show you the old tried and true method of getting rid of all of this stuff. Look at it. He wrote, the duck's got a monocle. It says, Sup Mario Bros. It says, do clean with benzene, thinner alcohol, or other. That's not true. You shouldn't do that. And then this. I think that's a shirt or a severe medical condition. Can I do it? Yeah, that obviously I would. It'd be a really awkward cleaning channel if I couldn't. We're going to do this fairly simply, though. We're going to disassemble the cart. I'm going to show you just the standard things you'll have to do to clean up something like this. We'll put it all back together and see how it looks. There is some damage on the cart down here, and there is some dirt, and there's a little bit of plastic marring on the side here. Let me get my pointer. So there's a little bit of plastic marring right there. There's that. It's filthy. More dirt. A caricature. But overall, not terrible. I bet you once we get rid of all this nonsense on here, it's probably going to look pretty much like what a normal version of Super Mario Bros. And Duck Hunt looks like. So we got our 3.8 millimeter bit game bit to take the screws out. One, two, three. Yep. I got a little metal tray over there just to catch everything. That ain't nothing. That ain't nothing for sure. Let's see. Which side should we start with? Let's start with the back. Oh, I should take some pictures while we're talking about it. Because I took pictures. I was gonna say, I should take some pictures because I always forget to take pictures, but this time I remembered to take pictures. For this backside, this is a lot, okay? This is a whole lot of Sharpie that we're gonna try to remove. So what we're gonna do is get out our old fella Heptane. Okay. Now here's the thing. I knew that's what was going to happen. Calm down. That's a lot of Sharpie, first of all. Thanks, buddy. And second of all, you know that this is Heptane, one, because of the smell. It smells like Heptane, but you can't tell because YouTube doesn't have smells. It's also obviously Heptane because what it's doing is it's just fading the ink. It's not getting rid of it. If I were to put isopropyl alcohol on here, 70%, all the way up to 91, 99%, it would smear everything immediately. We have been over why you should not clean with benzene, thinner alcohol, or other solvents because of the way that the plastic is. So one of the things that we're going to use is your Expo dry erase marker, okay? So I've showed this before a couple of times, but you want a chisel point. I'm going to take his head off first. You want a chisel point just because it'll get you the most coverage, and you still have the nice fine tip if you need to get in the corners and stuff. One of the things that you'll see me do is I'm fluffing back up the eraser. These erasers can get squished down a lot of times. I'm fluffing it back up so that it makes it a little bit easier to use. You don't have to use this exact one, but I have found that the pin ones, the real thin ones that are like Sharpie and everything else, it just doesn't put out enough dry erase for what I want it to do. So we'll do a little circle. And now that we got the bulk of it away, what you'll go in is you'll just draw on all of the lines that you see there. Hey, look, I'm Picasso. And then you'll come back in with your dry erase. Now, you still see the stain on there. That's fine. This is when Heptane's able to help out, okay? The big thing that you want to do and remember while you're cleaning is that you see how dark this cloth gets? Okay, the cloth is picking up a whole bunch of ink, okay? You want to make sure that you're cleaning off the cloth as much as you can regularly so that you're not just smearing around. If I were to put this right back down, it would just create a streak. It's not really coming up on camera, but there's a little faint streak that's happening right there. And that's what would happen is you would just get another little streak coming up. So change out the cloth regularly to make sure that you're getting it all nice and clean. And then just inspect the texturing. Don't worry too much about the glossiness. That's not really something you got to worry about. If you don't have Heptane, let me show you a trick. One of the other things that you can use is just your basic all-purpose cleaner, okay? But you have to use your all-purpose cleaner when the dry erase marker has been on the surface. So I'll show you what happens. Spray a little cleaner on here and rub the back. And we're not really getting that much up, okay? The Sharpie's dried on there. It's not really gonna go anywhere because it doesn't have any reason to. Nobody's done anything. So we gotta go back and we gotta resaturate it. So we take our dry erase, and what it's doing is it's basically making the Sharpie that's on there start to get liquefied again. And let the dry erase do the work, because the way that the dry erase works is when it dries, it's gonna let you take up the majority of the stuff. Now you see, as we're swirling around here, I'm slowly taking up less and less stuff. That's just because the dry erase marker is starting to get overloaded. Okay, so we go in with our all-purpose cleaner. And you'll see that it picks up way more than it did before just because we used the dry erase on it. Okay, so just keep that in mind that dry erase by itself is gonna pull up a lot. All-purpose cleaner is not really gonna do anything unless you basically tell the Sharpie, hey, it's time to get out, okay? So we'll go in for a close-up so you can see what's happening. And I'm not applying too much pressure. I'm just applying enough so that it's nice and flat, okay? Kind of refreshing the eraser a little bit. And I'm doing swirls, and I'm keeping the swirls nice and tight, mostly so I don't push anything into any side. I don't want to push it into any crevices or anything and then have to deal with cleaning that. All-purpose cleaner once again. And you can see, here, I'll switch it to a clean side. Okay, so clean side, all-purpose cleaner. And you'll see how much we're gonna pull up again. See how that works? Camera doesn't want to focus, but you see how that works? So you don't have to go crazy with anything. Honestly, that kind of a lifting is pretty much on par with what you would get from Heptane. Let me show you something else though. Okay, Goo Gone. Now that the majority of the Heptane is taken out, or the majority of the Sharpie is taken up, let me show you what Goo Gone would do to this same surface. I'm not really a big fan of cleaning ink with Goo Gone, but for the sake of education, let me show you. What we're looking for is we're looking for black smudging on the paper towel. And that'll tell us that whatever liquids we're using are helping to release the Sharpie. Okay? Let's do it on some Sharpie that hasn't had the cleaner on it, or that hasn't had the dry erase on it. Let's see what happens. It's getting up a little bit, but not really that much, okay? So it's not really something you want to be using to get rid of ink. Just wanted to show you why. Finally, last but not least, someone asked about this on Reddit. WD-40. Okay, can you use WD-40 to get rid of Sharpie from a cart? Well, let me show you. Okay, so we still have a faint outline over there of Sharpie, and we have the Sharpie over there that we haven't cleaned at all. Let me just clean off this whole surface real quick. Okay, so we still have the faint outlining right there, and then we have his little body right there. So we're going to spray some WD-40. Doesn't do anything. It takes up a little tiny bit, but it's basically on par with how much the Goo Gone was removing. It doesn't really help that much compared to how potentially volatile it can be on the surface of the plastic. So for me, WD-40 is not something that I would use to clean off Sharpie. So that being said, we're going to go back to our old tried and true method. Just wipe everything off. Old tried and true method of just the dry erase marker. And here you just want to be super careful about how close you get to the edges, to the labels, everything else, because you don't want to have to deal with that later. When I start swirling and everything, you'll see that I'm going away from the edge because I don't want to get too much of it into that edge. Do another line right there, a line right there. Now remember what worked and what didn't, okay? So the all-purpose cleaner worked pretty well. The Heptane worked pretty well. We'll just keep going with the all-purpose cleaner to keep it simple. And as you go along, you'll be able to see the areas that you still need to hit again. So keep an eye out for that stuff, and keep an eye out for where you need to go over it again a few more times. I got a stack of paper towels building up over here. There we go. So we'll do one more round with the Heptane real quick, just to see if we can clean anything else up on here. Yeah, so we're getting a good amount of stuff off there. Cool. A little bit on the edge there. And on that edge. Okay. Now we got this tiny little spot on here that says do not clean with alcohol. And it's going to be a bit of a pain. I don't want to use dry erase just yet, because dry erase will stain the rest of it. But let me see if I can just get rid of a little bit. There we go. Yeah, it took up a lot. Cool. Okay. Oh, should probably zoom out. Cool. The problem with using dry erase on a label like this is that a lot of times it's going to smear and it's going to smudge and it's going to stain all the different letters and everything else and just make it look not so great. The Heptane really probably only worked, though, as well as it did because it was new, because it was newer Sharpie. Probably just put this on here not too long ago. So there's that. You can see there's no damage to anything. And we used a dry erase marker, a little bit of Heptane, but not even that much, and just a basic all-purpose cleaner. Okay. Now for this guy. My cat's very annoyed that I'm doing this instead of hanging out with him. But that's the way it goes, buddy. Same rules apply on this one. You're just going to trace where you're going to be doing the work. So you trace where you're going to be doing your work. Get in here. And you work it up. Just like that. Okay. And you go at it with your all-purpose cleaner. And this might take 2 rounds, but that's all right. Look at everything that we're pulling up just with the all-purpose cleaner. Yeah, I mean, you can see it getting better every single time. See how far we can go with this. That's probably about as far as we will be able to get. So we'll do another round of dry erase. Trace where you want it to go. Yeah, this dry erase is about out as far as the eraser goes. I should just get one of the big erasers. But there we go. And I keep switching back to the Heptane because it's working, but I don't need to. I feel like I'm rushing at this point. And again, just be careful around the label. So sometimes I gotta like hold it up really close to see what I'm doing. Yeah, just be careful around the label. So let me try to take off his monocle with the dry erase. Hello, buddy. You're no longer bougie. I remember reading once that the monocle was actually not intended for use. It was intended for status because somebody, and I'm blanking on the name, but somebody had one and people were emulating them. I don't know if that's true or not. But Victorian era was kind of wild. Cool. So now for the little and super. Oh, we got lucky with that one. And then for his outline, so you can see a little bit of smearing, a little bit of smearing, but nothing too much. So if you're curious if this is actually all-purpose cleaner or not, let me show you something. Notice how it's foaming? Well, that's an aspect of an all-purpose cleaner. So that's how you know it's all-purpose cleaner. I'm not doing some wizardry nonsense with some chemical or something. It's all-purpose cleaner because it foams. I wish there was a foaming, like alcohol or heptane or something. That'd be neat. But there isn't. Quit wishing. Okay. Get that all cleaned off. Did I miss anything? Probably. Let me look. Doesn't look like it. Can I do it? Who in the heck, in this day and age, this time of year, localized entirely in my workstation? People asking if I can actually do things. Palomino, the nerve. Palomino is currently putting in an X station and a PlayStation 1, which is super neat. He's got a video series where he documents the process. And a fun little tidbit about old Palomino is I originally was the one that got him into Persona games. He had never played a Persona game before, and he asked what games he should get for the Vita, and I would not stop going on about Persona 4 Golden. Look, I don't know if you guys have played Persona 4 Golden on the Vita, but highly recommend. I don't know, something about the Persona game, the series I really like, and something about 4 on the Vita just, I don't know, it checked all the right boxes for me. So when he was asking what game he should start playing, I would just every single time say, you should probably play Persona. Fast forward about a year, now that poor boy has every version of Persona in a few various states. And he has videos on his channel of them. I'm jealous. I have a lot of Persona games. I don't have all of them. That's crazy. But I think that's one of the neat things about video gaming is that you can find people that you just kind of jive with immediately. So, like I said, I linked his channel at the beginning. It'll be down in the informations at the bottom. Go check him out. He is on the run to get 500 subscribers. And I had actually, we were exchanging some games. Actually, I ended up with all of the games. But he's also doing a couple of different video series going on right now. He's been cleaning up some discs and some games too. Definitely worth a check out. And he challenged me, which I say anyone that challenges me to see if I can clean something is a damn fool. All I'm doing now is I'm just going over the rest of the surface with all-purpose cleaner. Yeah, this is fairly clean. One of the things you'll see me do every once in a while is I'll load up a toothbrush with all-purpose cleaner and then just use that to really hit and agitate all the trouble spots. The trouble spots on NES carts are always just any of the tabs, any of the corners, any little sections that things can get stuff into. Got a couple of NES videos. I've had to clean them, floating around. Always good to check out. Pins actually look pretty good. But because I'm me, let's give these a little bit of some lovin'. I don't show this as often, but I think it's probably just because I've bored people to death about it. Is that what you're seeing? Let me zoom in here. Kapow! What you're seeing is you see all the black eraser stuff that's coming off of it? Okay? That's just coming off of the pins. So most of the time if I get a game, you know, one of the things that I'll do is just quickly clean it off with some pins and then run it, see if it plays. I've said it a million times before, but I'm not like a pin hound that they have to be perfect. I just do, yeah, see on the back here, the eraser markings are coming up a lot lighter, which just tells me that these pens aren't necessarily as dirty as you would think. So look at all that. Gross, right? But that all just comes from the pins, okay? So, now that I've made this significantly filthy, so we got this guy, we got this guy, we got the board. Just hiding the fact that I don't know how boards go in anymore. Like that. Put the back on. Drop the screws in. Kids, don't write in Sharpie on your carts. Palo, don't write in Sharpie on your carts. But you should also not be afraid of trying to clean off games. Don't be afraid of cleaning off a game. Don't be afraid to, don't be afraid to try some things. Don't be afraid to investigate. Yeah, this came out just fine. Just fine. A little bit of label damage on the front. I might trim off the excess just to make sure it doesn't get any worse. Yeah, that's pretty banged up on there. But I'll do that later. Top looks good, a little bit of dirt. Nothing terrible. Boom! Take that. Of course I can clean this stuff. Of course I can. And the important thing, and the reason I was really excited about it, is that I can bring you guys along too. Because that, to me, is the important part. Is being able to show you guys that, yes, if someone just wrote Sharpie on a cart, that you could take it off. That's what we're trying to do here. Is educate and entertain. And I don't really do either. But you will see some carts have Sharpie written on them at flea markets and stuff. I don't know why, but now you can clean them. Tools we used, I already put them all away. Dry erase marker with a good eraser. I'll probably buy an actual proper eraser, but this works for now. All-purpose cleaner. Heptane when I needed to. Honestly, this whole thing could have been done with just a nice all-purpose cleaner and Q-tips, little things like that. So basically, that is about all you need for cleaning Sharpie off of a cart. Remember here where it said, "Can Doug do it?" And now it doesn't say that anymore? That's how that works. Until next time, be sure to check out Palomino's channel, see what he's doing over there. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to my channel. I'm trying to make more regular videos. Always feel free to send me messages if you have any questions or anything else. If you hit the like button, I am told that what you'll get is a lot more video game restoration cleaning videos popping up in your channel. I try to do the tags correctly. And most importantly, thanks for watching and clean your games. All right? Good. Go clean games. All right. See you guys.